On this day 5 years ago, I booted up my old laptop and played my first game of League of Legends. Now, 5 years later, it's become my most played game of all time, as well as one of my favorite games of all time. League of Legends has had a pretty big share of my life since I started playing that first game, and I bet it'll continue to do so after this video is done. When I originally sat down and wrote the script to this, it was much longer. I went super in-depth about every stage of the game since I've played, but once I finished it, it felt more like a history of League video instead of a video about my experience, which wasn't what I was aiming for. Also, it was pointlessly long, like 15,000 words, 50-minute audio file of me talking long. So I scrapped it. I want to tell my story, and in a lot less words. I'm not really sure how to start this video, so I've organized my thoughts into 5 central questions to keep myself on track. Think of this like a Q&A, but I'm asking myself the questions. I wasn't sure what to fill the background with, so I'm pulling random clips off my computer so there's something interesting to look at while I ramble. Now let's get into it. This is my 5 years of League. Since I started in 2016, the middle of Season 6 for anyone wondering, basically everything has changed. There's new dragons, new parts of the map, new objectives, new items, new runes, reworked champions, and new champions. The list goes on too, there's more shit than that. However, I think almost everything has changed for the better. Each new addition, while taking a bit to get used to, helped further push the game into a modern gaming era, something I was struggling with a bit when I first hopped in. I remember thinking plants in the jungle was an insane idea, and now there's a mechanic that can potentially spawn more of them and I've gotten used to it. The things that have changed are crazy to think about when I picture the game without them in it. The client's changed, and it's been working horribly since it came out 4 years ago. I think if there's anything Riot could go back and fix in the past, it should have been the client. The new client got introduced in early 17 as a laggy, buggy, unplayable mess, and they made their first successful positive change to it in 2019. That's 2 years of a client that fucking sucked, when we could have used the old client that worked perfectly. Knowing Riot's level of polish on new projects today, I'm surprised that they even managed to let it happen. In the end, it was something that didn't need to go down like that at all. Besides the client, and even that today is really good since they fixed a bunch of performance issues, I would say that every change made to League since I started playing was a good one. Except maybe Yuumi, though that's the story for another day. The most important thing for me for League is that League is fun. If it's not fun, why bother? It's funny because I've already done this bit before in a different video. I think I have a very healthy relationship with video games, so usually when I'm playing a game it's because I enjoy playing it. League is no exception to this rule. Doing a bunch of flashy shit in this game feels incredibly satisfying. There's over 150 champions in the game right now, which means if you want to play the game, you are basically guaranteed to find a champion whose playstyle you enjoy. Sometimes you can even find champions in different archetypes you don't particularly enjoy as well. For example, a large portion of my favorite champions are skirmishers, which includes champions like Riven, Yasuo, Lilia, and Sylas, as well as offensive battle mages like Victor, Taliyah, and Vladimir. However, I also really like playing Poppy, despite me usually not really liking tanks. Our large champ pool allows for the game to last a long time without getting stale, since you can always try something new. I find League's seemingly endless skill ceiling incredibly interesting. I started caring more about Ranked League again last year, and managed to make it to Gold before the season's end. This season I'm aiming for Platinum, and maybe even Diamond if I make it to Plat fast enough. Watching high-level League gameplay is always super interesting to me, because it's cool to see all the little small details that separate a lower ranked player from a higher ranked player. It also helps that this game feels good as hell to succeed in. Snowballing games is really drastic in League, and sometimes even more so depending on champion choice. You're rewarded with winning even the smallest interactions instantly, either in the form of gold to spend or extra experience or even just a health lead over your opponent. Which in the naturally slow pace of a League game, makes you want to keep playing from game to game. Snowballing is unfortunately a double-edged sword though, since if you're able to win really hard in League, it also means you're able to lose really hard in League, which doesn't always feel the best. Something I think Riot has stepped up their game with over the last 5 years, and really should be praised for, is their presentation. When I started playing, trailers like Get Jinxed and Mind of the Virtuoso were out, and basically every single trailer or story video since 2016 has delivered like those two did back then. We have Warwick's rework trailer, Rise, Popstars, Giants, Warriors 2020, Kin of the Stained Blade, The Path, Senna's trailer. Basically anything Riot has done in regards to advertising and lore content has been crafted with such care and genius that every one of these videos I watch and rewatch and re-rewatch makes me excited to play more League of Legends after I finish it. That was a long sentence. Riot has a lot of money and I'm glad they're using it on cool shit like this. Also, side note, the Spirit Blossom event was one of the coolest things Riot has done in the last 5 years I've played, and I really hope they do more stuff like that in the future. There's a skin leak that came out that says that there's a huge Star Guardian event on the horizon, and I really hope that comes true because it would be one hell of a good time. Finally, League of Legends has been really fun for me because I can play it with my friends. League's community can be toxic, this isn't a surprise to anyone, so playing with friends always helps me take the edge off the game. Some of my best friends started playing a year or two ago and it's made the game so much more fun than playing alone. I've actually met 3 of my friends over League, and I'm really glad I did because they're great people and I now get to play with them and laugh with them. I'm looking forward to playing more games with them in the future, and I hope they like the game as much as I do because I don't want to be accidentally holding them in a League of Legends hostage situation. So what do I dislike? I wish League of Legends was a bit less, how should I say this, cringe? League's fanbase is incredibly toxic, this isn't a surprise to anyone, but when they're not being mean or hateful in-game, they're being cringe losers on Reddit or Twitter. Any day there's something or someone to bitch about, every change Riot makes is ruining the game, every patch goes by and there's someone whining about how Kai'Sa deserved nerfs. Okay, that one might be a little true, but you still get the point. It's a similar problem with League that I have with Smash Ultimate's community, where it's just a constant stream of either mindless annoying shouting from a person who probably hasn't left the house in several weeks, or mindless dick sucking from a stan Twitter account run by someone who probably hasn't left the house in several weeks as well. I know this is mainly just an internet problem, but I feel like it's gotten worse specifically around League over the years. League subreddit went from a place where aspiring creators could post their League content to help hit a wider audience. Now it's a group of babies who take every video down if it mentions the word riot and bad too close to each other, and then spends the rest of their day writing a 30-page long post about how X streamer did bad in a game, which means they're inting, and that's why League streamers are ruining the community. And this isn't even Reddit exclusive anymore, these people are everywhere. They're self-obsessed basement dwellers convinced that reaching Gold 2 means they know exactly how Riot should balance their game, and think that they know exactly how a Challenger League streamer should play in a fight, and they spend their entire day backseat gaming these people in Twitch chat. They think they know exactly what good and bad champion design is, and it's all just so fucking cringe. It's created a stigma around League that the game is some horrible mess you should never get into, and the stigma is right most of the time because of these people. To sum it up, one of the main memes of the League community is that everyone who plays the game hates League. And even though it's mostly sarcasm, I wonder why the people it genuinely applies to still continue to spend time on it. If you really don't like League of Legends, if you spend more time whining about it on the internet than you do playing the game, if you write hit pieces on streamers for having one bad game and getting angry about it, why don't you just stop playing already? Your behavior has garnered a worthy stereotype for the game, and I'm sure it's deterred lots of people who might actually like the game from trying it. Alright, I just had to get that off my chest. Anyway, I also dislike Shaco, and Riot is a terrible company who doesn't know how to fix their broken game by keeping him in it. I just reached Gold 2, and I know everything Riot should be doing by now. It's honestly appalling how bad Riot is at balancing their game, and they should totally hire me in the near future, and probably give me head as well. Season 11's item changes shook up the game a lot. Overall, I think the experiment was a success. Mythic items made building items more of a conscious decision, almost every item has a purpose that warrants a buy, and the game has generally become more open to different champions. Because of that third point though, Season 11 has become, in my opinion, the single most frustrating the game has ever been, because it's the first time where having over 150 champions has felt competitively unhealthy. Champions that I haven't seen in 3 or 4 years have come out of nowhere to dominate games, and because of the lack of matchup experience, I don't really know how to do well against them yet. Let me tell you, the feeling of losing to a champion you've never fought before because of purely matchup inexperience when you've played the game for a third of your life is a rage that I have never felt before, ever. It's tilting to lose the game because of snowballing, but to lose to a champion like Anivia or Rumble or Udyr or Garen with a dash or full assassin Rek'Sai or AP one-shot Twitch or Shinzao or full tank Kog'Maw or tank Nocturne or full tank Cho'Gath that somehow kills me faster than before or any goddamn build of Lee Sin that will one-shot me and never die, I think you get the idea by now. The thing that really solidified this opinion for me is that when I was playing Orianna in Ranked, a champion that is almost always good because of her ult and her pretty strong laning phase, and I lost to an Aurelion Soul, who was able to kill me level 3, chase me down the whole lane with his Q, and roam to the rest of the map and get everyone else fed. After that game, I simply had no idea what I could have done better to win, because I just hadn't had any experience fighting Aurelion Soul in the last 3 fucking years. Despite my frustrations, however, the items are undoubtedly a good thing. More champions being able to be used in the game is a good thing casually, and since there's still defined champions that are better than the rest, looking at you, Ezreal, it doesn't really hurt things competitively that much. It might just change who we see at the top sometimes instead of seeing fucking Ezreal and Cassiopeia and Sion and Renekton in every game for the last 5 years. The new champions this year are really good. Rel was a bit overtuned, but now feels very interesting and fun to play, from what I've seen since I actually haven't played her yet. Viego should have definitely been delayed, and now that he's in a more playable state, he's actually really fun. Gwen feels like she came out of the oven just right, and she's one of my favorite champions of all time now. I was a sucker for old Aurelia Ultimate, and now that it's put on Gwen instead, let's just say I really fucking like the champion. I played a few games of the Mundo rework, and I really like the direction they took with him. Instead of being a stat check like he was in his old form, he now feels like the looming threat that you can plan for and play against like he should be. He's broken as shit right now though, so once he's a bit more balanced, I think he'll be healthy to play against and as. So to answer the question, yes, I do think League is in a good spot right now. Though a bit frustrating for an older player like myself, it's created a lot of variety in builds and champions, which has made the game more fun and open. So should you play League? League's one of my favorite games of all time, so my answer is obviously going to be biased. However, as an attempt to give an unbiased answer, I think everyone who has a computer and likes video games should at least try League. It's free to play and offers a gaming experience that almost no other game feels like. If you like it, then you'll have a great time, and if you don't, all you've lost is an hour or two. If you're going to try it though, I recommend staying far away from any internet reference of it that isn't a YouTube video, since you'll find people that say shit so stupid it will make you want to curl up in a ball and never go up on the internet again. League of Legends will always be a special game for me. It feels like a child that I've watched grow into itself over the years, which is ironic because I myself was a child that grew into itself over the years when I started playing. The future of this game is looking quite bright, and even though I've already gotten through 5 years of it, I'm ready to see what the next 5 years holds. If you've stayed this far, thanks for listening to me gush, and I hope you enjoyed the clips in the background. I thought those ones would be the coolest to show off. If you liked the video, feel free to drop a like on it, and if you want to see more videos by me, feel free to subscribe. With that, I'll see you all in the next one.